Okay, let me make one thing straight to you guys here, is that I know not a thing about the sports of hockey. And but based off of the movies that I'm going to be reviewing with you guys today, that's pretty much all I know, is what happens within these three films, which are the Mighty Duck Trilogy franchise. So I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you very much for taking in the time of your day to watching another one of my awesome videos of Awesome Joe's Play-Back-to-Back movie reviews. And today we're going to be, of course, reviewing the Mighty Duck franchise. And I had a lot of fun with these movies. I just recently bought them on Amazon the other day, and I just finished watching them, and it gave me a really good idea as to what I wanted to do, which is getting to talk about these movies on one of my videos. So what a great opportunity to do it right now. And for all of those who are familiar with the franchise, that grew up with them and love them very much, I hope that you guys enjoy my video and my opinions. But if you guys have any other different opinions, questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, you can always leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this video or any of the movies in general. So let's go ahead and get started here, you guys, with the first film I want to review with y'all today. So let's start it off first with the one that started it all, The Mighty Ducks. This movie was first released back in 1992, and it was directed by Stephen Herrick. And of course, we got the star of the film, Emilio Estevez, along with Joss Ackland, who is pretty much like the elderly advisor to the movie to help Emilio Estevez's main character, see and reach towards things that he's not very familiar with. Like more of a fatherly mentor figure to him. We also got Lane Smith in the movie. He's what you would call maybe the villain of the movie. He's a really great actor. I really did love him in being like in the movie Son-in-Law, or I remember seeing him being Perry White in the Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman series back in the day. We also got Heidi Kling, who plays the love interest of the movie, and she has a son who is one of the hockey players in the movie, Joshua Jackson, when all the others, Eldon Ratliff, Sean Weiss, and Marquiette Moreau. I think that's how you say it. I'm very bad with pronouncing names here, but all in all, that I know about this movie is that Emilio Estevez's character, Gordon Bombay, is this all-time successful lawyer, and he stumbles across himself through a rough patch in his life, and gets arrested and is put on probation and having to do some time to being a full-time hockey coach, and to the Pee Wee League, which happens to be this group of kids who are very terrible at playing the game. So Gordon Bombay is a character who has been involved with playing hockey before in the past when he was a child, and has gone through some dramatic situations that has put him through some difficult paths, and has brought him back. And now he has to reconnect those lines and fulfill his goal, his purpose into the world of hockey. So I find this movie very interesting and very entertaining. It's a great movie for the family to go and watch together. Rotten Tomatoes, they rated it an 18%, and that's a very low rating. I was very surprised to see a rating like that right after when I gave the rating myself, a 66%. It's not like the best movie of all time, nor is it the worst movie of all time. It's pretty much around in the middle there, to where I'd have to say that it's great, but it also has its flaws. The acting is okay. It's not the best. You get some very funny moments here. You get some very entertaining moments there. But all in all, through and through, I'd have to say that this movie deserves its going rate of giving it a 66%. 18, I don't think it's fair. It's still a great movie. I highly encourage all the ones, especially in this new generation, if you guys have not gone to see The Mighty Ducks, go ahead and watch it. I bought mine on Amazon. It was only for like $20 for the whole trilogy, and it's a great, wonderful experience. Even though I'm not a big fan fan of hockey, just having to watch the movies itself alone is still very entertaining to watch. So that's my review for The Mighty Ducks. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next film here, you guys. Next on the list is D2, The Mighty Ducks, and this one was released back in 1994, 2 years after the first film, but it takes place immediately right after the first film. It's directed by Sam Wiseman, and we got Emilio Estevez coming back. Right after when they ended the first film, Gordon Bombay, Emilio Estevez's character, took off and joined the pros for a little bit. He got injured and then he came back, and he's introduced to a character that's being played by Michael Tucker, who happens to wanting to invite him and his hockey team into the World Championship, to where it's a hockey championship to where their team has to go against many different types of teams from all over the globe. And they're no longer the Mighty Ducks, and now they're called Team USA. And it's one step up to the first film, to seeing what's in store for them. It's a life-changing movie. Not in reality terms. I'm talking about within the movie. It's the aspect of this whole storyline is about focusing on what matters most, rather than having to deal with what's making things so complicated. And I find that very, very interesting and very amusing to watch. And because me being a child and me having to watch these movies, you would think that you wouldn't highly understand as to why and what's going on here, but all in all, it seemed very legit enough to understand and say that, what, I get what they're trying to do here. This movie has some other characters that are being played by Kathleen Erbe, who is the new love interest in this film to Bombay's character, and we also got Karsten Nargard, who happens to be the next villain of this movie, who's the opposing team against the Mighty Ducks. And it's the character, this villain character is very darker and very more legit, much more different compared to Lane Smith's character in the first film. We also got the return of Joshua Jackson. We got Eldon Radcliffe and Marquette Moreau, I think that's how you say it. And some of the kids from the first film didn't happen to come back and return. And you get several new cast members to the team, and I find that very entertaining and much more interesting to get to change things up a bit. Make things make the whole team grow here with new and different unique talents that each individual player has. And I thought that was very, very an interesting idea. We also have like Kenan Thompson in this, and as you all know, back in the day he used to be a cast member to the Nickelodeon show All That, and now he's in Saturday Night Live right now. And he's an okay actor. He's very funny, very amusing, and but is he the great actor? No, not really. But he's really funny to watch. I find him very amusing. And on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave the movie a 21%. And for me, I found out that rating later on, and to where after I gave the rating of this movie a 53%. So it's not, for me, it's not as good as the first film, but I find it very still entertaining. And this movie, 53%, I would have to give this film. It's very highly different. It gets a little bit more darker because the kids, they're getting older. Gordon Bombay, he's starting to realize many things about his life in the world of hockey. So I find it very, very interesting and entertaining to watch. Like I said, all three movies are very, very great. I really did have a lot of fun with them. I'm not very sure that I ever did get to watch the first and the second Mighty Ducks in theaters, but I know for a fact the third one I did, which is what we're going to be talking about right now. So, but otherwise, that's my ratings for D2, The Mighty Ducks. What do you guys think? Like I said again, go ahead and comment in the section in the bottom. Let's have an awesome conversation in regard towards this movie or any of the other three movies that I'm talking about with you guys today, or any movie in general. So let's go ahead and jump off to the next film that I'm really excited to talk to you guys about. D3, The Mighty Ducks, and this one was released another 2 years after the second film, back in 1996. And this movie is directed by Robert Lieberman, and let me think here. the title says Emilio Estevez. The poster has Emilio Estevez in it, and I wasn't really familiar with the movie trailers and the marketing that they did for the film back then. But I remember when I went to go and watch this movie at the newly remodeled theater that I went to, and I remember I saw the poster and I was like, oh wow, cool, they're doing another Mighty Duck movie. So, you know, you go in and I was watching it and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, you know, you can't have a Mighty Duck movie without Gordon Bombay in it, you know, Emilio Estevez. And so I was a little bit troubled by that at first. But like I said, when I was a kid, you know, it's very hard for me to understand, but it was very it was still entertaining. It was still very interesting and amusing having to see the story to continue on with the same amount of characters, you know, excluding Gordon Bombay within the movie. It's a movie about the fact that these kids are getting older. Now, the first and the second film was related towards the coach, Gordon Bombay, and his life within the hockey realm. And now we are experiencing the children's side of it. You know, we had conflicts between both coaches. Now we're having conflicts with both hockey teams, and I found that very, very interesting to watch because I was a kid back in the day when this movie was released, so I understood what I was watching, and I very much was excited to see how this movie was going to turn out to be, because I really love the fact that, yes, Emilio Estevez is within the film, but maybe only within 25%. And we got Jeffrey Nordling, I believe. He is the replacement coach, who is not very favorable within the movie, who plays Coach Orion. And I actually like the coach. He's pretty cool, but I don't really see him taking on the mantle of being taking over Emilio Estevez's character. So I think that he's just only within this movie, just for this movie alone. And then of course we get Joshua Jackson back into this. He's a really grown kid now. You know, he's pretty much the star of the movie now. And we got David Selby. We got of course the return of Eldon Ratliff, Sean Weiss, Marquette Moreau, and Kenan Thompson. Of course, several other kids coming back to the third installment. And this movie is a lot darker. It's a lot more serious. It takes you into some different direction compared to the last two films. It is way darker, and I actually love films in dark perspectives. I really do. It just lures me in to wanting more and more and more. And I actually watched this movie twice because I actually really do love this movie. It is fantastic. Now, I know that most critics would say that this is not really the best movie ever of all time, but for me, I would have to just love it enough. On Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a 20%, and for me, I gave it a 72%. I really loved this movie, and you know, and I don't want to give away anything because, I mean, yes, this movie has already been out for over 20 to 25 years now, and I would still have to say that even this is a climactic conclusion to the whole entire storyline, and the way that the whole thing ends, it's just magnificent. It is just so amazing. I mean, if you guys have seen this movie, you guys would know what I'm talking about. It's just an epic ending to the whole entire thing. I am just so excited just talking about it because I just recently just watched this movie right before I did this review, and to keep it fresh in my mind and say, hey, you know what? I gotta talk about that because that part was just so amazing. And there's a lot of there's a lot of depth into it. There's a lot of dark behavior within the movie, and it's just so amazing to watch. It was just an amazing film, you know. Even excluding Emilio Estevez from the film, I'd have to say that the movie still kept up its game and say, hey, you know what? You know, things may be changing around here, but it's still a Mighty Duck film. And I think that they kept the persona of the whole thing intact. So that's my review for D3, The Mighty Duck. What do you guys think? You can always comment in the section in the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this movie or any movies in general. Now, like I said, I collected all three of these. It was all in one collection of the the Mighty Ducks trilogy on DVD. I know that most people are now doing Blu-ray or they're downloading them online, but I got these for only like 20 bucks on Amazon. It was a great deal, and you know, if you guys are wanting to go ahead and watch them, go ahead and purchase them online on Amazon, and you guys can have an awesome time watching these movies as much as I did. And one more thing before I end this review, that if you guys aren't familiar, if you guys are within the Del Rio, Texas district, go ahead and check out my brother DJ Stoney over at the Ramada Inn, which is the White Horse Lounge. He's there every Wednesdays and Thursdays evenings from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. He does an amazing job doing his karaoke, and I enjoy it because I really do love to sing, and it's a wonderful, fun time there. I am a movie critic, and I know another fellow friend of mine within the town who is also a movie critic himself, Mr. Randy Little. He does a fabulous job at what he does. These two great performers do an amazing job. I really do inspire for you guys to go ahead and check them out. Like I said, Stoney Carrillo at White Horse, and you can check out Randy Little at Randy Little Movie Reviews on both Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys very much for taking in the time of your day to watching my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration to me as to what I do. It's a great personal hobby of mine, and I really do enjoy talking about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.